Hello everyone. Hopefully you all great working. I've already got a cough. Good start. Yeah, sorry about that. YouTube was really being silly about my internet and whatnot. I don't know why it was being odd today, but nonetheless, we're here now, and yeah, here we go. FYI, I just bought a new mic, so hopefully it sounds all good. Um, I think it does in my tests, but you let us know in the chat how you feel the audio is on this new mic. Make sure I've got the settings set up correctly. So if you've just joined us and you don't know what the hell we're doing here tonight, we are looking at how to create a headshot sort of mechanic in our game. So those of you who are playing Borderlands 3, like Solomon Grunty over in the chat, that game involves a lot of shooting and a lot of shooting at heads. And when you shoot at heads, you get more damage. So today we're going to look at how you actually accomplish that in Unreal Engine 4. Now, if you want to watch this video in an archive, you can do straight away after this if you are a patron. So head over to patreon.com/Ryan Laley, and a simple donation of $1 will get you access to this archive plus many, many other videos. There's about 14 videos at the moment that patrons have. Otherwise, you can wait 2 weeks and catch up on this archive later. So, hello and welcome to everyone watching this, be it watching it live or watching it on the archive. So, tonight we are starting with the first person project template. And I've already imported the anim starter pack because I want a third person mesh and mannequin to be able to pull this off so we can see it attack an enemy. So, if you don't know much about the first person template comes with a projectile weapon rather than a hit scan weapon, like so. So our first job is going to change to a hit scan weapon. You could do this with a projectile weapon. It's not much different to it, but it suits it better if it's a hit scan weapon, which you are using line traces to accomplish bullets hitting enemies. So we're going to tweak this somewhat, and I'm just going to tidy up my code here. So let's take a look at this. So I've got montage play for the shooting. I'll keep that in there, but I don't want to do this spawn projectile, so we're going to get rid of that entirely, and we're just going to play the sound at location after the animation. Now all this stuff is for nothing we need. So I'm just going to delete all this chunk because we're not doing anything with a we don't need this either, with a VR headset. Oh, don't want to do that. There we go. Okay, so I've got my firing happening here, doing the animation, and then it goes off to play the sound. So before that happens, I want to do a line trace. So actually, let's put that there. So let's make line trace for the gun. So we're going to do a line trace by channel. And the channel we're using is camera. It doesn't really matter in this much, but camera's best in this case. So start. So if I do pause, it's because I'm reading chat. So not there. We want to drag in our sphere point, which is the muzzle of the gun. Get the world location, and that's going to go into our start. We're going to then get an add vector. This is all standard stuff, this bit. I've done this a few times in various videos, but nonetheless, you get a sphere, get the world location of it, and that's the starting location of that line. So the line trace is going to project a line out into the world, and it's going to be important where it hits. So we're adding a vector to it because we're going to add the endpoint. Okay, so the endpoint, we're going to take the first person camera, going to get its rotation. It's basically which way the camera is facing. we're going to get the direction that it is. Oh, not get direction, get forward vector, sorry. Get a forward vector, which is basically getting its direction. Its forward direction anyway. And from there we can multiply that by a float. And I'll do 2000. And that's how far away you want the bullet to be detectable. Okay. So I'm going to do 2000. I'm going to add that to our start point. And the reason why you're adding it to a start point is because this is just getting a long line. This then wants to place it into the world, so it starts the line at the muzzle flash. So we've got the line headed. Next we've got the out hit. So out hit, I'm just going to split that, and you get access to all this stuff. So the way you do this is by using this one saying out hit bone name, and that will return the bone name that you're hitting. Now what that actually refers to, if I go into our mannequin mesh, when you import a skeletal mesh in, it will come with these three files. You have the mesh, which is its appearance, you have the skeleton, which is its bones, and then you have the physics asset. And the physics asset is what handles like ragdoll. You see these little capsules surrounding parts of the body. Well, these capsules are surrounding bones, and these are what are detecting hits. Okay, so it's not the actual mesh it's detecting hits, it's these things that are detecting hits. And what it reports on the name of the bone that these are attached to. So this is spine 2, so when I shoot this sphere here, this capsule here, it'll report spine 02. So if I want to do a headshot, when I hit the head capsule, it's going to output the word head. That's the name of the bone attached to the head capsule. And we don't actually have to do anything to this. We just use this as our detection system. So I'm going to close that. And if I just do a print string, I can drag my out hit bone name to my print string and click compile. Now if I put my mannequin in the world with, I'll just put one of these animations in it so you can see it working. So we've got an idle pistol, so there's our enemy, and if I hit play and hit the shoot button, you see the head appears in the top left corner, and the rest of the body. And if I shoot the hands, you see it comes up with none. That's because there isn't a capsule for the hands. Okay, so the capsule's not attached to any bones, but the head and the bodies are. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's the general gist of it. Now we can't just use these idle animations. So here comes the problem. If I have a actor such as this UE4 ASP character that has its own capsule collision and everything like that, I can shoot this dude in the head and it reports head, but I can't shoot this dude in the head. So why is that? Well, to show why that is the case, if I just turn on my debug for my line trace, you can see what is actually happening. I'll change that to duration and hit play again. If I go in here, you can see the capsule collision is stopping this line trace. So that presents a problem. How do we get the line to ignore the capsule? So the way we do that is, oh, wrong thing. We want to open up the mannequin, the actor that we've got out there. Click on its capsule component, and then on the right hand side, scroll down to where it says collision presets. You want to expand that open, and from the drop down, change that to custom. And once you've got it custom, you'll see camera is set to block. Change that to ignore. So now this capsule component is not being used. Instead, we're using the physics of the mesh to actually handle the headshot and whatnot. So it's no longer going to be using the whole capsule to do line traces. Instead, we're going to shoot in the head like that. So that's the starting point. We've got it so it detects when we shoot the head at other parts of the body. We can now start looking at how we can accomplish that with our damage system. So how can we increase the damage it deals? So let's first we'll get dealing some damage. So I'm going to go into my first person character here, and rather than doing print string and all that nonsense, we're going to be doing just dealing damage. So on the out hit actor, we want to just damage it. So type in damage, and we'll do apply damage. And let's just do a base damage first of all of say 10, okay? And we'll leave that as that. Yes, yeah. Click compile and close up. So when I, oh sorry, don't want to do that. Then go into the mannequin of the bad guy. Not making the actor of the bad guy. And in here we're going to do the receive damage event, any damage, and we'll just make it print string the amount of damage it gets. So our task is now to make it change the damage that it receives if it hits in head. As you can see, it's 10 standard across the board, so we need to make that different. Let's just delete this idle. I think we don't need that. Okay, so if we go into our character blueprint, now there's a couple of ways we could do this. We could simply just do an if statement, if head, deal damage. Another thing we could do is if head, we change. Sorry, first thing we could do is just do if the bow name's head, change the base damage. If the second one, we could do if head, change the damage class. So the damage class you could do as say like critical damage or headshot damage here, and that way you can do various different effects. So if you go back to your bad guy character, you'll see damage type comes out here, and it's from that we can do all sorts of weird stuff with it. So I'm going to attempt to use a damage type. Let's see if that works. So for that, we're going to make a new type of damage. So right click, blueprint class, and open up all classes. And we're going to search and create for a new damage type. Click select. And this damage type, we're going to go damage type headshot. Okay. And we'll go for a new variable, and this will be the multiplier that headshot damage does. So we'll go multiplier, and that could be a float, and default value we'll do as 1.5. okay, so do 1.5 times damage, or at least that it will do once we finish setting it up. So we've got our own custom damage type, and if we go into the first person blueprint, okay, and in here we're going to do a check for whether or not this is equal to, and type in head, and put that into a branch. Now if you're doing multiple of these, you could in theory just do a switch as well, switch on name. In fact, let's do that, because what that allows us to do is we can do then multiple different types of damage based on different parts of the body. So if you hit them in the arm, you do less damage if you want, for example. So the default damage would be that one. Okay. Then case 0 head. If it is head, oh hello, I'm going to do another apply damage, and this time I'm going to change the damage class to headshot. There's loads of ways you could do this. You could do it like this, you could do it with a branch, whatever you like, but let's do it with the headshot class. So Okay, so hopefully this works. So to test that out, if I do print string here of hello, so when I shoot it in the head, it should say hello. There you go, which it does. Okay, so you got it shooting in the head saying hello. So that's all working, all fine and dandy. So let's go back to our enemy character, like so. So when we receive any damage, we get a damage type coming out of it, and then from that, I could cast to damage type headshot. Get the multiplier. Get multiplier. And we'll just multiply the float with the damage received here. And plug that into that print string there. So let's double check what we've got going on here. So we've got the damage. Oh, didn't pick up the damage actor. There we go. Base damage is 10. Damage type headshot when it's head, and like so. Okay. Oh yeah, master. Yeah, master drive. Yeah, you just pointed out. Yeah, that's it has to be connected. Yes. Sorry. Well done for pointing out. Okay, so we do that. Hit play. Now you can see now it says 15 when it shoots in the head, like so. So the multiplier part is working. Now it should also deal damage across the whole body. So why is that not doing that? It's because its cast is failed because it's not getting a damage type here. So what I want to do is actually not do a cast. We'll do equals 2. No, what can we do? A bit long-winded. We could do a cast failed. Yeah, we should do a cast failed. So when a cast is failed, we just take that value. So let me just clear the hello. We don't need the hello anymore. Just delete that. Okie dokie. Play. So 10, 15. And there you go. And you could do all sorts of things. Then now you've got a damage type here. I mean, you could even go off of here and do special like UI stuff. So when it does deal damage to the head, you can do special UI things going off in here. That's totally fine as well. If we do a random range for the base damage, we could do that. So we go random float in range, like so. Do a minimum of say 5 and 12, like so. So yeah, so you see you get different values. You can do random ranges like that. And that's kind of it, really. Well, what kind of things? We've got a little bit of time left. So, what else would people like me to show them in regards to this sort of setup? If we want to do more stuff with the damage type stuff, we can do that too. We can do like If you want to do like a fire damage or poison damage, we can quickly do that if you like. And let's just see what people are saying in the comments. Guardian, yeah, you can put me in the credits if you want. That'd be cool. And don't forget to send us a link to the game. It'd be amazing to see what you've been making. I'm always interested to see what people make. Court of Lords, a data table of the UE4 mannequin bone names and indices. Okay, what do you need? What would you need that for? Court of Lords, sorry. Kim, can this be applied to models you import from Mixamo? It should do. Yep. It just reports as long as they got a physics asset. As long as they got this thing, it'll be fine. Just fine. No problem. And I think they do come with that. If not, you can make one of these yourself. It's just a base of placing capsules and linking what bones are constrained to it. But yeah, as long as we've got this thing is the thing that powers it all. Yeah, so you should be fine then, Kim. I tell you what, let's do one cool thing. Let's do some DPS numbers coming off their heads and things like that, like Borderlands style. Seeing that Borderlands just came out yesterday, so let's make some damage numbers. Oh yeah, you can do a damage table. Yep, you can do that. Quarter Lord damage table will work just fine. That's a good shout. So I'm going to create a widget which will be just our text for our thing. So just going to drag some text in, and like so. And we're going to go into graph, and I'm going to go is critical, and make that. Yep. So what I'm going to do here is, we'll come back to it, but hopefully we have time, is make it so it changes colour if it's a critical hit. So this DPS number will change based on whether it gets hit or not. Okay, so let's do an animation for this thing. DPS number, flying. Okay, so this timeline then, we're going to go add track, add the text widget, and then we're going to add a transform for this. And we'll make it fly up and like whoop over. So here, where's my transform? And we're going to go, whatever, if I set auto key on, there you go. Like so. Right, so I want it to be more loopy, so I'm going to come up there, and I'm just going to move it more up. Whoop, like that. Okay, and when it gets to there, we're going to sink it down, like so. Don't like that. Where's the graph? I'm just going to put this on the other. Can't really. I want to show you guys this stuff. Okay, so that is where it's going wrong. I don't want it to do that. I want it to be more linear. Like so. Okay. Let's speed that up. there. Let's speed that up. Well, that's not going right either. Okay. Let's look at the Y. So this is the Y value. So it's going down is up. So basically weird, I know, but down is up. So it's going up like so. I don't want it to decelerate. I want it to sort of spike like so. Okay, and make that fall down further. Cool. Right, now the X. Ooh. Straighten that out a bit. Cool, we'll have that. And also going to add a opacity to it. So add track. And we go render opacity. And we'll make it start fading out from here. So keyframe there. And then this keyframe here. So the full effect. Oh, let's set it back to 1 over here. I feel like it's going too far over at the start. It needs to go more up, I think. So back to the graph, to X, and I'm just gonna. So it's going too far over, I think. My overlay. Oh, what the bottom thing? Oh yeah, sorry, it's on a timer. I can't see what I'm doing. I've got a little screen. You know what? That'll do. I don't think we need to do too much on this. Obviously, you can tweak all this stuff. I've got a video on widget animation. You can see how you make widget animations, but it's a bit too floaty. Let's fix that floatiness. That's this little float bit here. Do that and do that. Okay. Yeah, there we do. Right. We'll compile that and leave that as is. Okay, so the graph, we need to add another variable, and that is the number. So DPS, we'll make that a, we'll make it a float in here. And then in the text block over here, I want to bind that. No, I want to do a construct because it's only going to appear once and not change. So on the construct, we drag the DPS out, get DPS, and go to the text here. I want to bind that to. I don't want to bind it to anything. What I want to do, I want to be able to access it from here. So, oh yeah, I've got to X variable. So make that a variable. There we go. And I can access that text block there. I can then set the text. Is this one? Yep. And DPS, I'm going to floor this. Basically rounds it down and then plug that into there. So it basically lops off the decimal. Okay. So that'll do for that. In fact, actually, I want to go into my graph of this and that DPS figure and my is critical. Make them both editable and make them both exposed on spawn. There we go. Click compile and close that. Okay, so if you've just joined us, we have made already how to make headshots different from the rest of the body. So they do more damage. What we are doing now is we're adding a simple DPS number that will fly off the top of their head when you shoot them. So I've got made the widget. We've got a widget which has a DPS number and it is a critical boolean. I'll probably just do the DPS number. We'll do the critical another time, but I want to do this whole thing I'm doing now in a separate video at some point. So not live, but actually just a separate video. Anyway, right. So we made this DPS numbers thing. Okay, so I want to go into my first person character and not first person character, the enemy character. Let's see what chat's saying. Peter, next week's actually the next question time. So pop by next week. I'll answer everyone's questions. Yeah, Mass, that is a shortcut way of doing that. Yep, totally can do. Right, so I've got my DPS numbers coming up here. So let's just delete these print strings. Instead of doing print strings, we're going to do that DPS widget thing. So I'm going to create a widget. And we're going to choose a DPS numbers class. You can see it is critical and DPS number coming up here. And this one we'll do for our head there. And we want to add that to a viewport. And we want to make it a screen widget. How do we do that? Oh, I've forgotten how you do that. Hang on. Totally forgotten how you do it. Nope. Oh, poop. Yeah, I have to Google it. I can't remember where you do it. Oh wow, I'm being stupid. It's already a screen space widget. I think, but yeah, of course. Oh my god. So dumb. It's very late. It's like 10 to 1. Yeah, so this is already a screen space widget. I don't need to do anything to it. I'm getting confused. I thought it was working on a 3D space widget. I'm not. Okay, so we're adding it to the screen. On this thing. Once we add it to the screen, we need to set its position. Okay, so return value there. Set position in viewport. Okay, oh, hello. Now, the position in the viewport, you want to be at the same position that this thing's in. So, I'm going to leave it at 0, 0 for now. Yeah, for now. We'll see what that does. Just experiment. I'm also going to plug that into cast failed as well. No, I won't. I can't do that. Let's do that. DPS into that. And like so. Yeah. Okie dokie. Play. Oh. So you can see the widget appearing in the top left hand corner, which is 0, 0. Okay. So trying to read property function create. Eh? Don't know why that's coming up with an error. Anyway, let's just get the positioning correct. So the positioning will be the screen. I can't really call it now. Screen position. Screen space position. That's a pointer event. I don't want this pointer event. I want to convert a world location to a screen location. So world. You can remember what they call it. Get world. No. Project world to screen. Transfer given 3D to. Yep, there we go. Okay, so screen space position goes into there. We need the player controller object, so get player controller. And the world position I want to use is get the actor location of this thing, like so. And that should be better. Well, there's the numbers appearing. I need to fix that. Make it so it animates. Hang on. So go DPS numbers onto a construct graph, drag your animation out, get and play animation. Okay, and when animation is finished, we want to remove from parent itself, so it destroys a widget. Okay. Yeah, Kiwi. That's probably we will be probably adding a is valid. I'll double. We'll go back to it in a minute once we've got this bit working. So the numbers kind of work. So I've got that. Let's just fix these errors then. Access non-trying to read property, create function create, return value. Add to viewport. I don't know why it's okay. We'll do is valid and fix that. Okay. It's valid. Ooh. Like so. And compile. Oh, I'll put that in there. There you go. Compile. That. Compile. Okay. Oh, still getting errors. The widget DPS was already out of the screen. Yes, we're making instances of it, so it shouldn't be an issue. I don't know why it's giving me those errors or warnings rather. Well, what I will do is I'll I don't know actually. Yes, good one, Peter. That would be it. Yeah, because we're plugging in both of these return values into it. Okay, well, if I just for now, let's just turn off this one here, completely. So only the headshots are coming off with DPS numbers. There we go. Yes, you're right, Peter. Peter, that's correct. Kiwi Kingdom crouch not input. Yeah, that's fine, but we're not doing this as a playable character, so we don't need to worry about it. Right, okay, so let's just improve this a little bit and give ourselves the location of where to send that widget. So we've got quite a few things actually. We could do it on here. Actually, yes, it would make more sense to put it on here. Let's do all that code on here. So, if you're just joining us, what we are working on today is we're getting we quickly got our character here reacting to headshots. So if I shoot in the head, numbers come off of him. Now I'm just working on getting the DPS figures to look good and work well. So what I'm going to be saying, we can, rather than have the enemy dude have all this junk on him, we're going to put the junk on the start point here. Okay, when we apply the damage. Actually, no, we don't want to do that, do we? Or do we? Yeah, Kiwi. It doesn't matter about the input action because this input action, crouch, for example, doesn't exist in the input action list because this thing's made for the third person mode and whatnot, and it hasn't made the input action. This actor isn't being used by the player controller, so it's never going to be calling crouch. So I can just delete this if I wanted to. It makes no difference whatsoever. But if it makes you happy, it'll clear that compile error or warning rather. But we don't need any of this code because we're not making a movement. Okay. Right. So we got any damage. Right. I'm trying to think how I could offset it better, make this a bit better. I don't like this setup. This setup's annoying me. What would be the best way of doing this? So what I'm currently thinking out is I want to make the DPS numbers come out exactly where I hit it using this out hit location. Now I can't pass out hit location into my applied damage here. It doesn't allow me to. So what can I do instead? We could put the DPS widget on this part where I can then plug in the location quite easily. But if I'm going to do the damage, so sushi, we did that at the start and that totally works fine. You can leave it like that. We have a separate headshot damage because I wanted to show how you could add damage type classes. So the idea being is that if you had a damage type headshot, you can make it do all sorts of weird, crazy stuff if you wanted it to. Make like bleeding effects, other UI effects, whatever you like. It doesn't matter too much. It's just me trying to show off what the damage type class does and how you use it. That's all. Okay. Right, I'm just going to put it onto the player character. Right, so rather than doing that, in fact, what we'll do is we'll cut this all out and keep it as simple as possible. Okay, so I'm just going to do a simple equals. For those joining us, we're making a headshot thing. We've done it already. We're just adding stuff to it now, and we'll make it exactly the same name as the bone in the physics editor. I'll recap this, by the way, before we finish out the evening. And we'll plug that into there like so. So now we know when we hit the head. When we hit the head, we want to spawn a DPS number. No, not numbers. Cast. Not cast. I'm really tired. I'm losing it. Create widget. True. Choose DPS numbers, and in fact, yeah, leave DPS numbers. So when it's true, then DPS number here is going to change. In fact, I'll make a function. Let's make a function. Spawn DPS numbers. I want the DPS number, and that'll be a float. I want the location, should be a vector, and I think that'll do. So I'll just call that function instead. And if it's head and it's true, then DPS numbers will be the way you'd have it is you have a gun damage here as a variable. So we'll just do that quickly. Float. Get gun damage. And if it's true, we multiply it by a headshot multiplier. And if it's false, we'll just do the normal gun damage. The location, we're going to go out hit location. What impact point? I think it is. We'll check that. Yeah, impact point. and we've got the gun damage multiplying on there, multiplying on there. Okay, on the function. There you go. Create widget. Choose our DPS numbers. DPS goes into there. Return value, we're going to promote to a local variable and go DPS widget. And from there, we're going to add to viewport. We're going to drag out again, set position. And we want to world location to widget position. Create get a projected world to screen position for the player, then converts it to a widget position which would take out any quality. Okay, cool. Do that. Get player controller. And the world location will be our location input over there. So just type in location. And it'll be at the bottom, like so. Okie dokie, click compile. And let's play that. I don't see no widgets spawning. What's happening there? Let's do a print string. Well, that works. So where the hell are my widgets going? Add to viewport, set position. Let's turn that off there. There we go. Okay, so it's spawning at 0, and the reason why it's spawning 0 is because I forgot to set gun damage to a base value. So headshots get 15. There we go. So we've got that all working. We'll do go back and add our randomizer a little bit to this. So go to event graph, and we'll just gun damage. We'll put that through a randomizer. Oh, hello. Random float in range. Ooh. And we'll do gun damage as a minimum, and the maximum will be gun damage plus, I don't know, 5. Why not? And then that can go into these values here and here. So now this only will work the DPS numbers on everything we shoot, because we're not deciphering anything different. It's just dealing damage to things. So you'll have a separate thing in here which will check whether or not we actually hit a player or actor. So this actor here, if I type in damage, you'll get a thing called get can be damaged. Make that an and boolean. Actually, no, not an and boolean. Just into a branch. It's true. Compile. So now, oh, why are they being saying that they can be damaged? Oh, that's bollocks. Why is it doing that? Okay, we'll just do cast to character. There we go. There you go. And that's kind of it. I mean, one last thing we could do, I guess, we could do if it is critical or not. So in the spawn DPS numbers, we can add it is critical boolean. And we plug that into our create widget. And on our widget, this one, on the construct, we'll do get is critical, put that into a branch, and text block get, and we want to set the brush, no, not brush, what's it called? Font, nope, where is it? Just color and opacity. Okay, let's do color and opacity. Set color and opacity, and we'll make a color, and we'll make it orange. Compile, and so now when I shoot in the head, I should get orange text. Fucking aim. Or not. Why is that not working? DPS. Maybe I'll put this in the pre-construct. Pre-construct. Compile. Right. Why is that not working? What have I missed? It's critical. Oh, tick that on. And there we go. And that can go further. You can make it even bigger as well. So you can go in DPS text here, set color opacity. We can also do set font there, split that, and just change the font size here to 32, or let's double hit, let's go 48. Oh, would help if I actually set the font. Might actually have to do that. Pain in the butt. Get font. Oh. Split. And plug that all in there. They're exactly the same, apart from our size. So now we should get nice big numbers. And it goes on. So now you know where the head is. You can do like special reacts with animations, UI stuff, blood splatters, different animations for the enemy. Yeah, you can go on and on and on and on. But yeah, so we've done a recap. Let's do a recap of how we actually achieve this. So to create it, maybe to make it able to detect whereabouts you're hitting it on the mesh, you have to go onto the mesh and make sure it has a physics component, and we're going to make it detect which capsule it hits, and these capsules refer to the bones they've been attached to. So this one, when this capsule is hit, it is going to report on the head bone, okay, and this one will report on the spine 02 bone. As long as you've got one of these, this should work. So once you've got that set up in your gun, where you're doing the line trace, you have a thing called out hit bone name, and that will report the name of that capsule that you collided with on your object. Once you know it's a head, then you can do whatever the hell you want, which is what we spent the last 40 minutes doing, is setting up different effects and things like that we could do with it. Once you've got that, that's it. You can just go off and do whatever you want. Now, when you are doing something like this, you have to make sure we turn off the use of the capsule collision, and instead work with the actual mesh collision instead. So by default, these character capsules will take ownership and be the main thing you're colliding with. But if you're doing a realistic shooter, you'll want to turn that off. And the way you turn that off is by selecting the capsule component and going right down the side here, going into customizing your collision preset and changing its trace responses to both be ignore. So it's basically ignored completely by any bullets or anything like that. That way we can shoot right through it and hit just what we want to hit. And that's kind of it. This is anyone want to ask last minute questions, they can do before we sign off. Ask away. I'll wait patiently for the chat for a few moments. I'm just going to have a sip of my drink. So Masterio of games. If we just want to hit a third person, we just need to cast that to an object in break hit result. No, just cast a character. It will then hit any character based object. So it could be all what you want. Hi Josh, good to see you, man. Yes, sure, go on, Kim. You can ask a non-related question if you wish. Hi, Vane. So if you are just joining us, we are about to sign off, but don't forget, the archive of this video will be available from patrons immediately after the show. For just $1, you can become a patron and watch it straight away. Or you can wait a couple of weeks and it'll be released publicly for everyone to see. Kim, can you think of any use cases for the function combined rotators? Yeah, I actually used that before. When I was doing it, I was teleporting a player through a portal, and we had to combine the rotation of the player with the rotation of the portal to make them able to fly out the other side at the right angle. So combined rotators worked for that instance. However, you could... Where else could you use it? But that's the main thing I did, was doing that. Combined rotators. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Kim, exactly that. If you want to get the correct rotation of stuff like that, you can do. But yeah, some of these functions I haven't used much of, and combined rotators is one of them. It's pretty obvious what it does. Hopefully, it basically compounds two rotators together, so it's not adding them on basically. Rotators are weird. They're not just numbers. They are numbers, but they're not as what you think they are. Like, they are unique numbers in that regard. Okay, so we're going to sign off there. Thanks very much for everyone coming by and asking questions and joining the chat. It's been a pleasure of an evening, and hopefully you've learned a lot and seen some cool stuff and gave some inspiration where you can go next with this. So next week is another live stream, and it'll be question time. So if you want to bring along any questions you want to ask, you can ask about anything you like. So yeah, you can queue up those questions. It could be about Unreal Engine 4, games development in general, myself, my life. I don't care, anything you want, and ask me anything will do just fine. So that'll be next week at the same time as this one was. And again, don't forget, the archive will be available in 2 weeks for public members, or straight away for patrons. Thank you for my patrons for supporting me. It's amazing that everyone's been supporting me as much as they have. It's inspired me to keep on going with this, and hopefully one day I'll be able to do this full time. So yeah, if you want to help out, please help out, and I just want to love to do this full time, and make more videos and do more interesting stuff. Got some interesting videos coming up soon. Some unique ones. A preview of some of the videos we see on currently on the patrons at the moment is we've got a water one. So at the moment, I shared a video that came out publicly about how Nintendo do scrolling textures to create waters. I show how to do it on Unreal. That's in there. The whole of the Shooter AI series is on there. More of the equipment equipment systems on there, and we're about to start a whole new series next week, looking at shopkeepers and making shop front UI stuff as well. So Kim, yes, videos are now 2 months ahead of time rather than 2 weeks. So there's so many videos on the Patreon. There's like 14 videos. So they're now coming out like 2 months after they're made and given to patrons. It just works out. That's how long they're there, between a month and 2 months. It's only the live videos that come out 2 weeks after. Easy for me to keep track of those ones. So, without further ado, have a good evening, guys, and wherever you are, and keep on learning, keep on game deving, and I'll see you all, guys, next week on my next live stream on doing question time. Thanks all. See you later. Bye bye.